The world of the internet.
It can get a bit much sometimes.
I don't know.
Pretty much, yeah.
Welcome to
Move Over Mother Teresa.
What is my purpose? What am I gonna contribute to the world?
Interviews with creators who
Show the world
give
vulnerability and masculinity.
Encourage consciousness.
Can I swear?
This is Move Over Mother Teresa. I'm Mira Kumar, and today my co-host Tom Cledwin, Fee McKenzie and I sit down with Abu Finiin, creator of the viral travel series Kids of the Colony. Now, a few weeks out of university, graduating from Oxford, I'm not kidding, a few weeks after, Abu and his friends fly across the world and decide to film a full production travel series. Abu has no idea how to work a camera, let alone how to work the mics, and yet his first video gets over 100,000 views. In this episode, he reveals the failures, the strategies, and the vision that made the series a viral success.
I'm Abu Finiin.
Say, well, you good, yeah?
Born and bred in North London. I'm also the brains behind the YouTube channel Kids of the Colony, alongside my friends Zach and Kaya.
Here's how we made a whole series from our bedrooms. I was at uni thinking I'd break into TV the old way. Got work experience at the BBC, and then had a crazy show idea about culture, identity, and friendship.
Let's talk about what you actually do online, which is insane. I discovered your YouTube videos through this TikTok video that you made where it's like loads of clips cut together of you talking straight to the camera being like, oh, you know, me and my friends, we've just gone out to Bangladesh and this is what we're doing and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? It looked really cool and I wanted to be there. And for some reason, it's not the usual content I would click on, but for some reason I was just like, I have to check this out. Watched this series that you did, and I feel like who better than you to explain? Tell us about what you do online, Kids of the Colony, and that first series.
Okay, cool. So my name's Abu. I'll say I'm an aspiring filmmaker. When people say, what do you do? A cheat code is I just say aspiring in front of it because no one ever questions that. Yeah, I can say anything, aspiring footballer. But aspiring filmmaker, and then I'm also the founder of Kids of the Colony, which is a YouTube channel, but I want to kind of more of like a media network that tells second generation immigrant stories. But our flagship show is a travel show in which me and my friends visited the countries our parents are from. So we've done Bangladesh, Morocco and Somaliland, and we filmed all our adventures and across that process kind of like wanted to make a TV show and feel like slowly starting to nail it. And yeah.
And what exactly are you doing in those videos? Give us like a little taste.
So the show kind of evolved as we made it. So when we went to Bangladesh, it was kind of we never knew what we were doing. Like, none of us had any experience filming. So we just bought a bunch of cameras and we said, we're gonna have an adventure. And it was just fun. It was kind of like a road trip with my friends. But then there was some really like beautiful moments. Like I met Kayam, my friend, his grandfather in Bangladesh, and I remember just stepping into his house in the village, and his house is like a huge compound in Sylhet in Bangladesh. I'm thinking, this is really cool. And I met his grandfather, and I remember that whole night he was just telling us stories, and I was sitting next to Kayam and I'm like, translate that. And yeah, that was just such a beautiful moment. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this is the show. Like, this is what it's about, like sharing each other's cultures. Then we went to Somaliland. There was a bit of a gap in between. I worked on other documentaries and really wanted to produce this perfect show. So we came up with the concept of it, which is I'm the host, showing Zach and Karim the culture, but I made them work different traditional Somali jobs to get them, to make them understand the culture and live like an everyday person. There were some cool jobs. So my favourite was working on a water truck.
So hard to get my phone. Careful, head down! Why are you not telling me? Why are you not telling me? You almost died like 55 times. My face all scratched up from these. What are these trees with nettles on them? I've never seen that in my life. Why are the trees out to kill us here?
It was fun, but it was not easy. You have to lay down, dodge these thorns, just scratch you, cut you.
Each house in Somaliland, there's not like a Thames water system where the water just comes to your tap. Each house has like a mini tank, like a mini water system, and you have to fill up that tank with a big truck. So I was like, you guys need to learn the importance of water. So you're going to work on the truck. So we're like surfing on top of this huge water truck down the neighbourhood. And the best moment is when we were doing that, actually, we bumped into my grandmother. And she hadn't seen me in Somaliland. So all she sees is me and my friends on the top of a water truck. She's like, what are you doing? Get down now. And I'm trying to explain.
Busted.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain the concept of the series on how we're fine. But yeah, she must have just been so confused, especially seeing someone like Zach as well. He's white, half white. Also, another favourite of mine working in a tea shop as well, because tea is like huge in Somaliland. Like
Shah. Is that
yeah,
right?
Shah.
Shah.
Yeah, Shah. Because we were posting on TikTok whilst we were there, the news kind of just spread quite quickly, like locally. It was quite intense actually, like getting messages. I know where you guys are staying. I've seen you guys in the street. Even people shouting in the street, "Oi, you guys are the boys," which was super cool. The best moment actually, we were live streaming on TikTok and we bumped into a kid who was watching our live stream. He just kind of
No
turned his
way.
phone. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that must feel.
Why do you think that kind of energy built? Is that because it's quite novel to have, like bunch of different looking blokes turn up with a camera, or was it?
Nice, yes. Just doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Especially in the area that we were in. We were quite local. Even I was getting a bit of hate saying, now from Somali locals saying, "What is this kid doing? Take them to the nice areas." Da-da-da. And I'm like, nah, like, this is where I'm from. They were like, it was intense as well. Like
When I came across your content on social, I was like, I did a mirror. I stopped. I scrolled and I locked in because I was like, they're doing something like really different on social. I think like we're in this time now where a lot of creators feel like they need to create this sort of similar content that is similar content that is going to like really hit the algorithm.
Yeah.
And you did something which was like totally different, for like short form, for example, like Instagram, TikTok. You do something really different, and it was really like inspiring people and gaining attraction
And genuinely fun.
yeah, that was a big. Yeah, really wanted to make it fun. Yeah.
really like breaking the rules for this particular time as well. What inspired you to begin this, like, initially?
I guess I like wanted to do documentaries for a while. I felt like that was kind of my thing. In school, I wanted to do a bunch of things. I remember wanting to be an architect in like year 7, year 8. Then in year 9, I must have watched a show called Suits, and I must have thought I was Harvey Specter. I don't know. I feel like everyone kind of our age, Gen Z.
Yeah, I want to be Lewis Litt though.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
no way. Never. Harvey, or maybe I'm Mike Ross. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because he's underdog.
This is the
Exactly.
best
Yeah.
of both.
Yeah. So I remember just doing a bunch of law internships in school. Thinking, yeah, this isn't Suits. Yeah, this gave me a bunch of paperwork. I'm like, what is this? And obviously at uni did PPE, which was quite general. Thinking I was actually going to transition to law, and then I was like, nah, media. That's like my true love. Like I really grew up watching Reggie Yates, a bit of Louis Theroux, a lot of BBC Three. That was my thing back in the day. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So I did a work experience actually at the BBC in my second year. But I was on the editorial team. So I was doing like the headlines and the news. But I wanted to do like the documentaries, So I always try and like sneak out and, try to find a floor that does documentaries. And then when I tried pitching an idea and it didn't work, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this myself. So I recruited my friends as well to help me. Yeah.
So interesting. And were your friends seem like they're really skilled in different areas? You've got your cameraman. Was it easy to recruit the right people to help you make these documentaries?
No, it wasn't. I don't know. I felt like at first the cast, I was like, okay, I'm not really worried. I was like, this works because we've been friends for a long time. And I remember just saying to Zach and Kai, look, I don't want you to do anything apart from be yourself, because the show only works if you be yourself. And then also, actually, funnily enough, when I first did it, I was trying to be Louis Theroux, like I was trying to be Reggie Yates. I remember we stepped out Bangladesh airport, Dhaka, and then hopped into the van trying to go to our hotel, and I was like, yeah, I got this. As you can see, the dilapidated buildings, it shows the development, And I remember the guys just laughing at me. It was Kai as well. Dilapidated, what's this guy doing? And I'm like, you're right. Like what am I actually doing? I can't tell the guys to be themselves and be funny, and then me just try and like be a presenter. So yeah, like 1 minute into the trip, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna just be myself. So yeah, that was fine. On the production side is where it became quite difficult, because I was like, okay, anyone can, or like, yeah, my friends can be on camera, but who's gonna help edit, film?
Because also you didn't, you'd sold loads of stuff to buy a camera, but didn't know how to work it yet, which is insane.
It was, it was bad. It was bad. I just thought a camera, you know, the more you spend on a camera, the better quality it is. All you have to do is press a button. Like, what can actually go wrong? Like, I remember even, bro, it's so bad. I bought like a mic, and it's one of them mics that you can only plug into a laptop and use it for audio. Like, you can't plug it into a camera, and it won't capture the camera footage. But I hadn't opened it until I got to Bangladesh. So I remember just plugging it into the camera, having it on. It was like the little lapel one. I thought, oh, yeah, this is great. It just didn't record. And we filmed for like 5 hours, got home. This isn't recording. Like, so many mistakes, so many other mistakes.
Trial by error. Yeah.
Like, not having a mic on, not filming in the best quality. Just never knew what we were doing.
This is so exciting though, I think, because I've worked for a lot of companies where it takes months to like, they're buying the equipment, and then like there's so much planning.
Yeah.
By the time you get to making the idea, you're not so excited for it anymore. So the idea that you actually, well, it gives me heart palpitations that, you know, those errors were made, because they happen on any shoot, right? You just forget to press record sometimes. But the idea that you just like get the equipment and go, I think is like really good, because you get the best out of it. Even if you make those mistakes, like, you will figure it out.
And even the step before that, right, where you can, the very idea that you can decide to just do it yourself. It's like still pretty new in the history of media, just to be able to, you know, dip your toes in like traditional media and TV, and then be like, oh, I'm just going to do this myself.
You know, it hit me like, the idea properly hit me like 2-3 weeks before we went. So it was like, let's go. Like, I booked the tickets without even having my visa. Like, our visa came like 2 days before the trip. Like, and I've done my final exam at uni, and a week later I was in Bangladesh. So it was very much like, we can actually, nothing's really stopping us.
I think that's why the energy in the videos is, because, you know, we were saying it's actually fun. Like, it made the reason I clicked into the YouTube videos, because I was like, the TikTok kind of made me want to take part. Like, I was jealous. I was like, this looks really fun. And I think it's probably because, like, as soon as you had the idea, you started going, and then like very a week fresh, later you're there. It's so fresh. We have an engineer called Felipe who is amazing, and he and I were talking earlier, on a previous record, about documentaries and tone and what we wanted this to sound like, and he kind of nailed it. A lot of documentaries have this educational and like, oh, it's interesting but dooming tone, and it's like very serious. It never really feels like the documentarian is enjoying themselves. What I love about what you do is like, you clearly are enjoying yourselves. You're delivering education in like a very fun way, and I think we forget a lot of the time, or like, perhaps what happens on YouTube is also happening in television, which is, you know, some of the great documentary makers of all time come across very serious, and so everybody copies them. And you end up with this very inaccessible style of storytelling and education. I think you're just doing the complete opposite, which is why people are probably quite drawn to it.
Yeah, and I feel like with my approach is like, you can explore serious themes, but also have light-hearted segments as well. Especially if you're doing travel content. So how can you like go to another country that has, you know, amazing colours and sounds, and just focus on like a very like negative aspect of it? Like, even if I watched one recently, it was Ashley Kane. He does like these extreme documentaries, and he went to the Philippines and was exploring gang culture there. And it was very like, I'm Ashley Kane. I'm here to see the gangs.
That was bang on.
It was nuts. And then but it's like, you can have that, touch on them themes. You can literally have a segment as well where you go to the nice, colourful market and see it. But nah, it was just, he went to like really like rough neighbourhood, and all the colours were dingy, and it was raining. I'm like, that isn't representative of the country. And it's like, you can still do a story, but still have them pockets of light. And I feel like that's super important to me in my work. There will always be, you know, that bit of hope, that bit of colour.
Yeah, and there's also just a bias there as well of not put aside all the preconceptions and sort of just amplifying them, but actually just the bias of like, we generally want to watch stuff that provokes schadenfreude or you know, fear, or so, you know, people are not so naturally inclined to see just like the positivity of things, places, cultures. So you're kind of working against that too, but then you know, that's a necessity. And And that's where the entertainment comes in. And, you know, Louis Theroux's a big hero of mine as well. But very often I wonder, and he gets this balance well. He does get this balance right. But, you know, sometimes even the humour and the lightheartedness can come across actually at the expense of his subjects sometimes too. And so even someone who seems to do it right, you know, it still represents actually how hard it is to do it right. So you decided to produce a series about a trip to Bangladesh. You made that decision 2 weeks before you went to Bangladesh.
Yep.
You turned up with kit that was wrong. You didn't know what you were doing.
Yep.
But fast forward not very long, you
Yep.
made that series,
Yep.
and within a few days, you've got hundreds of thousands of views, right? So
Yeah.
despite the fact you only last minute made the decision to do it, you didn't really know what you're doing, you did it, and it worked. So what from that early series can you point to that explains why people loved it?
One was we done kind of like a cool trailer, kind of putting the best footage together. And even in terms of like the series, there was just little elements that just kind of elevated it. So my friend Senny, who I went to school with, he done like a really cool animation at the beginning of the video.
It's very cool.
Like a stop motion type, which was great. And then my friend Daniel, he had like a really cool like radio voice. He narrated it. So it already felt like, okay, this is a bit more than a vlog. It feels kind of like a show. And then honestly, I feel like a lot of like children of immigrants kind of related to it. Like they hadn't seen a show like this made by children of immigrants as well. There was a couple shows back in the day, like taking children to different countries, but this was like super authentic. Like, yo, this Bengali guy's taking his Moroccan and Somali friend to Bangladesh. Like, it's just funny. They're just normal, relatable guys. Like we're just normal guys. So I think people related to on that sense. And it was just fresh content on YouTube. Like YouTube is just incredibly stale now. Like the content is very manufactured, very like everything's the same. So I feel
Because
like it was a
everyone's
breath of fresh
copying
air.
each other, exactly.
Everyone's copying each other because if there's a trend, then the algorithm will just lead to that trend to the point where people's thumbnails are the same. Like it's like
Just a formula.
Yeah, just formula.
And is this part of the reason? And I get it. So it's not too much of a probing question. But you don't like being called a YouTuber?
At first, I didn't really like it because I just wanted to do films, like cool documentaries, and I just felt like it was a bit restrictive. But now I just embrace it because I realized YouTube was the platform that just allowed me to put my content out there. It's like the best, like most, very democratic, no barriers to entry. I was like, yo, like this is great. So now I actually just embrace it. But YouTube, I just see it as that's the platform we upload on.
Yeah.
It's like if we uploaded it on, I don't know. I don't know what other video sites there are.
Daily Motion.
Yeah, Daily Motion. We're not Daily Motioners. We just, you just create shows.
Yeah. Are there documentaries or films that I know Reggie Yates and Louis are like people that you look to, but are there specific documentaries or films that influence the style of show you're making now? Because you're right, it doesn't look like a vlog, and that's in part because you have this external cameraman, but any inspiration coming from other places?
Just old school TV. Like the TV that we grew up on. TV just completely died. And it just breaks my heart. I just brought us together as a nation. So like with the Somaliland series, it was very much, okay, bring back that TV style. So like post, same time each week so people know. Which I didn't follow to the T, but which was intense because I had upload time would come. As soon as it was 1 minute over, I'd get a bunch of people messaging me, my family are waiting. I was like, okay. It was good and bad. It was a bit sweet.
Yeah.
But there's people sitting down waiting to watch it.
It's amazing.
So yeah, I really like that. Again, the intros. Like I love a good theme tune, love a good animated intro, love the narration. So yeah, just like old school shows that I used to, not a specific show, but just the essence of TV. Creating a family show as well. That was super important to me. So we don't swear, we don't like make inappropriate jokes. I want like 50-year-old mum to like laugh at it, and then a 10-year-old kid to laugh at it. Which is kind of my aim.
Mad to me is like as an old man now that you know, those kind of, I guess they're not tropes, but those things we were used to not that long ago, like planned programming and trailers, you know, like traditional TV trailers, are now like nostalgic, even for someone like your age and your audience, which is young.
A lot of people, a lot of comments are like, this is so BBC Three coded, this is so CBBC. I'm like, yes, like it is. I was very happy when people were saying that. But yeah, it's just lost. Like no one. I remember my life was go to school, come back, eat dinner in front of the TV, and you just watch a channel, and you have like 5 good shows back to back. And I'm like, and the kids don't have that.
Like Nickelodeon, Disney, like those days.
Those kind of things though that make you feel nostalgic, like these days as well, when the world just seems in so much flux, everything's changing, and it doesn't really feel like it's changing for the better. You know, I think those things that you were familiar with actually hold way more weight than what they are, because they're almost like give people the comfort of how things used to be a bit as well. And
bringing people together, like that intergenerational thing, I think is huge.
I think that was just so powerful, how intergenerational it was, especially like for like immigrant families, like children of immigrants that were born here and their parents who are born elsewhere. There can be quite like a disconnect, especially in media. Like there's a huge digital gap. So I remember I went to a Bangladesh like bazaar uni event. This was like when the Bangladesh series were coming out. The amount of people that came up to me saying, "Oh, my dad loves you," or "You're my mum's favourite." I was like, I was kind of like hit me. I was gassed as well. Yes, I'm the favourite. Like, yes, I told you. Zach and Kaim were there. But I was just so powerful to me. I was like, okay, this is what I've got to continue. Because it's like, what can, you know, a child of immigrant share with his immigrant parents? It's like, it's kids of the colony. Like that's what.
Also, because family is so important for like especially people of colour. Like family is so important, but there is that bridge between media, and I didn't realise until you said it. Like my grandma used to listen to BBC Asian Network, and it didn't ever really, like as a kid I would listen to it with her when I was in the kitchen, but as I grew up it didn't grow with me because my cultural influences were then like a mishmash of things growing up in London, and then also my Indian heritage. So the idea that there's a show that my grandma could watch and I could watch and we can talk about it and love it, and you know there's no swearing in it and stuff like that, actually is really exciting. I don't think I've ever had that before.
It just brings back this idea of like watching together though, because you know most people now they consume media, you know, on their phones, you know, whether it be the news, whether it be TikToks, whether it be, you know, YouTube. So actually like
it's solitary.
Bringing people together over, you know, a show, I think we've really lost that, especially in the UK. So yeah, I think it's amazing. I actually didn't realise that you released an episode at the same time, which is like same time every time. So yeah, it's very cool.
But it's all self-funded, which I think is
super impressive.
It's super difficult.
Tell us about it.
I mean, that's why people always say to us, yo, you guys need to do this to grow, you guys need to post consistently, but like there's no money. Like we all have our own individual lives. So I remember we do Bangladesh, we all just go back to our normal lives. 6 months later I was like, okay, yo, we've got a bit of money, let's go film Somaliland, do that, go back to our normal lives. So it's just like very hard. I think we made it hard for ourselves as well because like we're like a travel channel and we're like big epic series. So that's difficult to maintain. And then it's like, but yeah, I believe in it. I feel like eventually, like it's a big idea. It's gonna catch on. But it does make it really difficult.
Are you just sitting with that and like kind of accepting that, or are you looking and finding and thinking of ways in which you can produce great content that isn't going to be, you know, involving you getting on planes and paying for airline tickets and all this kind of stuff?
The main thing was we were waiting for brands, like obviously for our channel. It's not huge, but like we haven't had a single brand deal or like sponsor. So hopefully when they come in, that makes a bit of a change. And just exploring like UK content as well. We're meant to do like a really big UK series that we're meant to be filming it now. Should I say? Yeah, it was like a caravan series. Me, Zach, Kaim in a caravan, just exploring the UK, and we had like a bunch of cool activities lined up, like sheep shearing. I don't know. That's just my favourite. Like I just think I just really want a sheep shear. It just seems so British as well. Like bagpipes in Scotland. It was just it was just gonna be a British odyssey.
I love that.
And that was going to be really
Honestly,
good.
Yes.
Like, yeah, no,
You
we're
really
gonna-
romanticised it. No,
Yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
gonna-
yes, I'm desperate to see more of Britain. Yeah, go on.
yeah. No, but I feel like it was cool because we're very like inner city London. Barely leave London. It's quite bad actually. So I feel like it just would have been very interesting to just explore like the UK like properly. But yeah, that was like we were planning to do that, and then we thought, okay, we're quite a cool channel. Someone will get us a van for a good price, and yeah, I was just wrong. So now that series just got delayed. I'm like,
Because of the cost of the van.
because of the cost, yeah, because of the cost of the van. So so yeah, I need to find other ways to keep creating content.
Tell me about when you were kind of like pitching it to the BBC, or you were trying to pitch this idea, and it just wasn't perforating, right? Yeah. So what was the final decision? You know, what made you say, you know what, I'm just going to do it by myself?
Yeah. So pitching it, I just thought, pitching. You got an idea, can pitch it. It's cool. I'm gonna pitch it, and then it's gonna be on TV. So at first I tried to do it through the contacts that I had through my work experience, but they kind of taught me the process. Like, go through a production company, needs to get commissioned, So I was like, cool, that's fine. Let me email these production companies. So I was literally just, I remember quite clearly at uni, just went to the library, had an essay due, the essay tab open, maybe a couple readings. On the other tab, production companies, and going through a list of them, making a list of all the emails, and then writing like a paragraph explaining, more than a paragraph, an email explaining the idea, and just changing the names like Dear Brian, Dear da. I really think your production company, Glass
This
of
is the
Water,
one,
is
only
great.
you.
Yeah. You really connect. Really think our ethos is aligned. I was thinking, emailed 100, they're gonna get back. Then I was just learning about new things, unsolicited scripts. What's that? They just don't take ideas. Okay, yeah. I was like, how does that work though? I was like, I just don't understand this. Like, you have to work with another production company, or I was like, this is just incredibly long. Then I was like, cool, let me just film myself talking about my idea. This is quite bad actually. My friend Jad, he visited me in uni. I think it was his first time visiting. And I was like, yo, we are gonna chill today, but you're gonna have to film me talking about my idea. I'm just walking around the colleges saying, yeah, this is the idea, Kind of put that together, tried to send that out. And when nothing was happening, I was like, okay, nothing's gonna happen unless I do it myself. That's when I did Bangladesh. So Bangladesh actually initially started as like a pilot to show that this kind of works. Then when we got the reception from it, and when I kind of just understood these deeper themes, and it's like, okay, I can't let TV just, not ruin it, but like, I knew who this was for and what this was about. So I've got to continue doing this on my own for now.
And who is it for? Tell me about like the impact
Is
that
it for,
you've been having on your viewers.
It's for everyone. First of all, it's like people that are, it's like, it's very easy to watch. It's funny. You go to like learn about the characters, but more so it's about, growing up, there was no good Somali like representation on TV at all. Only thing we had was Captain Phillips, and I remember that was bad. That was intense. Like, I'm the captain now, and I was like, yo, like I remember even going to Morocco, and then the guy said to me, yo, I'm the captain now, like the market seller, and I was like, see, I'm laughing it off. I'm like, yo, this is really bad. Growing up, there was like a wave of Somali YouTubers actually, which kind of just shifted everyone's perception. Yeah, Chunks, like Sharky, AJ, like Darkest. There's like a whole squad, and I was like so lucky to like kind of grow up and have them. And I was a bit older actually. I feel like as a young person that would have just been so great as well, because they're like at the top of the YouTube game, and use Somali words, and it's just so great to see. So they kind of like open the door, I'd say, and I'm like, I've got to take this representation further. I've got to like show the culture now.
Hi, it's Mira. Just a quick one. Can you send me a voice note letting me know who you want to donate your ad slot to for your episode?
The charity I would like to shout out is Coffee Afrique, because they're doing incredible work in the community in East London. They run safe spaces for young people, giving them support, mentoring and activities. that keep them inspired and also off the streets. They also do stuff for the older community, particularly women, offering health workshops and healing workshops like art therapy, creating spaces where mental health is spoken about openly and without stigma, particularly in communities where it can go undiagnosed and unrecognized. So please do check them out.
Okay, so I'm very curious about, in terms of the creative and like what your plan is going forward.
Yeah.
You seem to be really into, one, checking out what your audience is saying so you can respond quite quickly, and two, I'm guessing looking at the analytics on YouTube to figure out how people, like where it's dropping off, and how does that then inform the next series, and how are you learning from that?
Yeah, YouTube completely changed because of the algorithm. And okay, so when I was growing up, big YouTube fan. And I was subscribed to people, creators that I like. And when I'm going onto YouTube and I want to watch some videos, you click on the subscription box. Okay, 5 of my favorite YouTubers have uploaded. I'm going to click that and I'm going to watch that. That's how it used to be. Now, people don't click the subscription box, they click the homepage.
Yeah.
And so now we're all fighting to get onto the homepage. And the way you get onto your homepage, lots of different ways, but the main thing is retention. And that's very difficult for me as well. As like someone who really cares about the videos, and I care about just kind of like the storyline of it. I like a slow beginning, like not crazy slow, but we're arriving here, we're introduce the characters, introduce the setting. I can't do that as much now because of the algorithm. You can't have people leaving like 3 minutes in.
I've noticed that in your videos.
Stops. Yeah.
Straight in.
I don't know. Maybe I blame Mr. Beast because he's just starts the video.
Beast.
Today we're, putting 1 billion people in a box. He just ruined it.
Also, like, he just gets it. He's just playing the game. Like,
He
the game.
completely plays a game.
Yeah.
Where his thing is, how many views can I get in each video? That's dangerous for YouTube and for content, because he has such a huge influence on the platform that even his thumbnail designs influence what other thumbnails do well. He's just got this crazy influence, but he's like, only thing he cares about is maximizing views. It's kind of scary.
Have you seen he built this tool a couple of months ago where the sort of it was literally a research tool for thumbnails. So he could sort of pull. Yeah, it was quite amazing actually. It just shows how much he
does care
loves
about
to work it out as much as do it.
Even I saw a tour of his studio. He has a thumbnail room. Yeah, like a room like bigger than this, just to take pictures for the thumbnails.
But I would also add, again, Mr. Beast he's just the kind of master of it. But I spent some years working at Meta, and I used to go and talk to brands about it. This was admittedly for their ads, so their paid ads, but we'd have a whole workshop on the importance of the first 3 seconds, and actually a whole section within that workshop on the importance of the first 0.3 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, wow. and actually now, and I feel icky inside because I'm just like, I didn't quite realise at the time just how much that is influencing, that kind of thinking is just influencing a race to the bottom, because, the only thing that matters, the main thing that matters is just that hook, and the quicker and the more in your face it is, and then you've just bought at least the opportunity to re-engage or retain for the next handful of seconds.
Then you've got to do it in the middle of the video. Still we got coming up, but I just completely reject that. I just don't do it.
Which I think is
the video
good.
starts,
very refreshing.
Yeah.
It ends.
Because also, like, what happens to you, like, physically? Your attention span is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And do you remember, like, at the beginning of this year, when every single video that you saw on like short form, Instagram or TikTok, it was like 10 seconds or 7 seconds or something, because that was the the optimum length. But that's just like, that's not how we should be being fed information. It's not good for us at all.
Do you know what it makes me think of? So there's this book called Infectious Generosity by the head of TED, and there's a chapter about the internet and how people use social media, and he said, I'm going to butcher it, and he says something like, platforms have built like the system for people to stay longer, for retention, right?
Yep.
But they're not necessarily having a good time, and they come away feeling guilty, like, I just doom scrolled for 2 hours, but they didn't have a didn't have a good time. But the platform worked because they stayed on the platform, but they don't have good feelings about that. So how can platforms retain people for less time, but have them come away and say, like, I had a really good experience. Like, I feel good about life and about how I just spent the past 30 minutes now going off. And I kind of feel like what you're doing is, in the short term, yes, people might drop off quicker, but in the long term, people who watch your videos will come away feeling good. They won't feel like buzzed from the Mr. Beast kind of style intros. And sure, that works for some people, so no hate, but I also kind of believe in what you're talking about. So.
Definitely, yeah. But it's not great when the platform does a thing.
I know,
for example, like let's say Instagram, Meta, they'd rather have you be on the platform 1 hour of doom scrolling rather than 45 minutes of wholesome content.
Yeah, because it's just learning a lot about you, about what your buying behaviours are.
Yeah.
Many ads as few as possible.
Even Elon Musk recognised this when he bought Twitter X, and he actually said like he was going to optimize for unregretted time spent.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful way to encapsulate actually the problem with these algorithms, these systems, is that they don't care if it's regretful time.
Has he
not.
done that?
No, clearly not. It was a nice idea.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like you.
But you know,
maybe
like,
his account was hacked.
you got to hope, and Abu, you're just clearly a man who's happy to kind of not throw caution to the wind, but take a leap of faith on this and just be like, yeah, maybe that would work better, but it's just not what I'm going to contribute towards. And you got to hope as well, like, I mean, it is paying off already, but also, like, ironically, the way to sort of stand out is actually to reject those kind of tropes and those kind of those things, and so, you know, I think it will pay too. I mean, it already is, but there's a real kind of shift in consciousness as to the negative impact of how we consume content, and I think people will really come to consciously appreciate thoughtful, slower, considered content and messaging like you're producing.
Hopefully that's the trend.
Yeah, you're really like standing your ground, I think, and you know, you're doing things differently in lots of different ways, and it's so admirable, and so what's needed, and you can tell just because of the amount of views each video gets on YouTube. You know, it's amazing. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah. No, thank you very much.
What's the big in the future? You want, you're already treating your YouTube channel like a TV channel.
Yeah.
So what is the big picture vision when this is monetized, when this is going really well, once you've got your crew and your cast, like what does this look like?
Honestly, that's the best way to put it. I don't know when people say, okay, it's a YouTube channel. No one treats it like a channel though. And that's what I want to bring back, just old school TV where you can click on this channel and there's different series, different concepts, different videos, but it all feels like one viewer can enjoy all of them. Kind of like, I don't know if you used to watch MTV or National Geographic.
Yeah.
You're going to kind of like all the shows because it has a certain theme. So our theme is just like culture. Just like culture, identity. But I just want a plethora of different shows that just explore that. So my dream would be on a Monday, you've got episode 2 of the Albania series with me, Zach and Kayam, and that's the fun adventure. On Tuesday, you might have, myself doing a serious documentary. On Wednesday, you've got, we're trying to do more sports stuff, like a sports documentary. On Thursday, you've got Zach and Kayam have a comedy show. On Friday, we have a podcast with all of us. I just see it being like a huge, just like network, basically. A network, yeah, kind of like Vice back in the day. That was like, I used to love Vice. So yeah, just kind of like, how can you bring that and then add our own spin to it? And then also, just bringing in new voices, like fresh voices. Like if I ever have a platform, I feel like it's my responsibility to bring, up and coming creators, documentarians onto the channel and give them that platform to, put out their work. So yeah, like, I feel like the cast, me, Zach and Kayam, would be like, okay, this is the cast of one show. Like, I love might be the OG cast, might be the best cast, but bring in other voices. Also, another thing that I'm quite wary of is, so I've done a post on TikTok, or it went quite viral. You and your friends visit each other's country, just like a sideshow, us in all different countries you visited together. And then I comment got a lot of likes, like, to be a man, and to be able to do this. And I was like, oh no, a lot of women think this isn't like accessible to them.
Yeah, it's not safe for us
Yeah,
to
it's
go
not
and travel.
safe.
Yeah.
And so we need to do Kids of the Colony, a series with a female cast.
Yeah, you
we
kinda
need
do.
to do that and have the responsibility to do that. So yeah, so like if a bit of money comes in, it's like, yo, we can just run with it. Yeah, let's do another series, put all the budget towards us. But it's like, nah, I bet that budget needs to go to different voices, particularly female voices.
We've been speaking a lot, haven't we, about the role of curators, as you sort of look forward. There's so much content out there, so much information, so much content, so many voices. And we've given away our autonomy of what we consume to the algorithm mostly now. And so, already starting to see just actually people who are curating are able to curate, different storylines, different voices, are really solving the need of getting through the noise, but also actually bringing together, a kind of meta narrative on top.
Yeah.
And when you talk, and obviously we saw in the research call you did as well, I've got real curator vibes from you actually.
Yeah, thank you.
Imagining looking forward in a couple of years and thinking with multiple shows, platforming different voices, that that's something you're going to really excel in, and I think that's where the trend's going as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the aim. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like my whole life has been leading up to that. Like, it really feels like that's my purpose. Because even when we created this show, it's like, yo, who else? Like, I don't know. A lot of people could have created it, but I just felt like I was the only one. I just remember thinking, I have this certain like story. My parents migrated here in the 90s. I grew up here, kind of like a mix of two different cultures, like working class background, grew up on a council estate, and then, went to a good uni, and, was about to leave and could have done the corporate thing and, all this meritocracy and being socially mobile, poor my whole life, but kind of rejected that, thinking, I feel like I've got a bigger purpose. And I look at my friends, someone like Akayam, has such a similar story to me, got Bangladeshi family, intergenerational homes, both working class, so like deal with a lot of the issues of poverty. And then we're just going to create this show. And even when they're creating it, have to have the integrity to create it properly, explore these narratives, be a role model to the younger generation below us, and not feed into this algorithm, this like not get money and do Mr. Beast 100 people in a circle, and just like focus on that, but continue telling the stories that kind of shaped us. So yeah, there was a moment I thought, okay, I've got to do this. Yeah.
And do you feel that when I started doing, living out what I thought I meant to do, suddenly I felt like my whole self, it came together. And I was like curious about you when you started creating this, did you feel differently about yourself, about your purpose?
Moved back to Somaliland, was living with my cousins, and I just went complete. When you're living back to basics, you kind of just rebuild your life. I just rebuilt my life. I remember writing in a diary, what is important in life and what is my purpose? What am I gonna contribute to the world? And part of me wanted to create content that made my cousins proud of where they're from, because everyone wants to leave. I kind of wanted to go back. I was like, we all just want different things. How can I just create something that we can all just appreciate and learn from? Another element of it was, there's an audience that I need to serve, particularly the kids back home. I don't know, they'll look at me and just think, I don't know, maybe I'm rich or my life is all great in the UK, but it wasn't. And I just wanted to, tell people, younger people, that it's okay not to have things figured out, to be proud of where you're from, your class, your race, your background. That's another element to it. I'm just trying to think of when there was a shift. And I'd go in the series where the cafe where Zach and Kaim were serving tea, I'll just go there every day and just speak to the elders. They'll tell me stories of like the conflict and the war. I'll speak to young people about, they're struggling to find a job, and there was just like, I don't know. One particular story, I would say, this is quite a good anecdote. Cool. I like a particular trainer called the Air Forces, Air Force Ones, all white. And I had this obsession of I need them box fresh.
Mm-hmm.
No creases. There's a particular crease that develops on the toe box. I was like, nah, I can't do that. I'm even walking like a penguin when I buy a new pair.
Yeah, you can't like kneel down or
Yeah,
anything.
can't do anything, can't walk. And I remember like, so one pair a year, like somehow get a pair and just try and keep them box fresh. So I went to Somaliland, had Air Forces on, and went to that particular cafe, and there was kids cleaning the shoes. And I spoke to one of them, and I didn't want my shoes cleaned. Like, it just felt wrong. Like, there was a kid, he was 5. I spoke to him, he was 5, and he had to work because his mum was looking after the kids at home, so he has to sell like clean shoes, and it's like for like 20p. I remember thinking like, this is just so wrong. And every day I'd go, my shoes just got dirty. I remember just not caring anymore because there's a kid that wants to clean my shoes. And my cousin just didn't understand it. He's like, yo, your shoes are white, clean them, like give money to the kid. And then them same kids, they used to have like a tin with their sponge in it. I used to wake up in the morning. I used to see some kids walking to school in their white shirt, brown trousers, the other direction, walking towards the coffee shop, tea shop. I'll see the kids in rags, ready to clean shoes. And in that moment, I was like, what actually, like all this materialism, like what does a crease in your shoe, like what does it matter? Like the clothes that I wear, trying to be trendy and cool, none of that matters. What matters is trying to make a positive impact in the world, trying to create something that them kids who are cleaning shoes can enjoy, or create something that can help them kids. And from there, I rocked the Air Forces. And my friends always like take the piss out of my shoes, but I'm like, none of this matters. Yeah. I think that's the moment. I honestly think that was the moment that made me realise, well, none of this matters. Like, why am I trying to be like, just be a TV star? Like, there's so much more I could actually do. And given my story, and given like the perspective that I had, where I'd been in rooms of wealth, and I've been, navigating them circles, that I've been on the complete opposite spectrum. And also, not even that, but like a lot of close proximity to poverty, to the point where it's my cousins, and my blood cousins, my first cousins, and my parents are the only ones that came to the UK, apart from my auntie. So it's like, I really could have lived that life. The only look at someone and you try to feel empathy, but it's like, for me, I feel it so deeply, like so deeply. I'm so lucky to have come to this country, had an education. I see my cousins and I'm like, that's the life I could have lived. Like, what if my auntie came to the UK instead of my mum, and my mum stayed? So that means, so it's like, okay, I've been given these tools, this life. It would be like just wrong to my cousins. I feel like it would be an injustice to just try and make money and not do something that helps them. If it's like, even if it's just like a film that just tells their story, or that's what my mind's always ticking. Like, how can I tell that story? One particular story I want to tell is, so my uncle is a nomad. Like, he's a camel herder that lives in the middle of nowhere. And when I first went, I remember first meeting him, and it just spun me, like the way he lives, like just in this hut in the middle of nowhere, just like, just milking his camels and like selling his camels. So yeah, my experiences like that, I've just got so many cool stories. Having spent time back home, I feel like a lot of people can resonate with this. I feel like, I'm the right person to tell this story as well. Yeah, I'm just going off on tangents saying
we love a tangent.
So powerful.
Very
I think I could hear somebody's watch tick. You know, that was just you and the sound of somebody's watch, because we were locked in then. That was amazing.
Speaking from the heart, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I don't know, it's just amazing. Like, you know, you've got a degree from Oxford. You could have gone and got any job you wanted and earned whatever you want. But, you know, just at that point, you sort of turned around and looked inwards to yourself and to your family and to your culture, and you recognize these sliding door moments. And, you know, like, it's all of this sort of behind the scenes, under the skin nuance that we've had the pleasure of listening today is like, is really amazing to model, and I think it comes across in your content, but it's very special to hear it. So Fee runs the amazing Creative Ally and co-creates this show with Mira, myself, and John, who run Drop Dead Generous, a social experiment giving 1,000 grants to 1,000 people around the world. We'd love to offer you, we've got here a little golden ticket, which is basically one of our grants of £380. And as a thank you for coming on the show.
Read from myself?
Yes.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
All we ask is...
thank you so much.
So these grants, we basically invite people to pay it forward in some way that shows how you can be kind to and look out for someone else in imaginative ways, right? So sounds like Smiley Mental Health is a charity you spoke about. If there's a way that you can direct that money to them, not necessarily as a donation, but you know, by spending the money in a way that would support them, and as an opportunity to then tell us what you did and share the story around it as well. But,
100%.
Yeah, it's just been an honour to call you a grantee. One of the
No, thank you so much. No, I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello. I shouldn't have done it like that. But my camera is low battery, so I can't. Okay, on to the outro. Hi, thanks for making it to the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I am here to, 1, jump scare, and 2, tell you that we have a Substack, musings on each guest, written by my co-host Tom Cledwin. It's really, really good. Just search Move Over Mother Teresa on Substack and let me know if you enjoyed reading it.